Welcome back, everyone. I'm on location at Glen Thompson State Nature Reserve today. I'm only recording this in my car just because I'm next to the freeway and it's really noisy and busy right now. So yeah, I'm just recording here because it's a little more soundproof, obviously, in the cabin of the car. It's a smaller place. We're just gonna spend about 3 hours here for the evening. Maybe there'll be a sunset for a landscape, I'm not sure. Yeah, Glen Thompson is a pretty popular place for kayaking. Like I said, it's not too big, so should be just a nice, short little hike here. I'm mainly going to be looking for wildlife, birds, warblers, any kind of migrants we see popping up. But if there are any wildflowers that are around, which I no doubt will be because I've always seen them here during the spring and summer, then we'll photograph those as well. So yeah, we're just going to get started. See what happens. Well, to start off, one thing I don't like about Glen Thompson is just all the noise and the traffic. I'm quite a ways in already. It's right there and it's just so loud. Anyways, in terms of wildlife here, I've seen plenty of white-tailed deer, especially on the other far side of this reserve. And I think it's a good spot just because it has a mixture of dense woodland, and then it has also the giant water source of the Little Miami River, which is right over here. So I wouldn't be surprised if I see any come dusk tonight, but we'll see, I guess. It'd be kind of cool. Right now I'm still looking for just any warblers, migrants. This is one little important pro tip, I guess, is that if you change lenses out in the field or outside or, you know, anywhere outdoors really, is to just be very careful about, you know, not getting contaminants, dust and dander inside of your camera sensor or even on your lens contacts or anywhere else internally in the camera or any piece of the technology. Because the problem is you know, if that gets dust spots on your sensor, you know, they show up on your photos, and that can be a pain in the butt, because I know for me, I have several of them on my main camera body, and I have to edit them out in certain images with the clone stamp tool. And you know, I don't want to spend as much time as I already do in post-processing and editing photos. You know, I'd rather be out here, of course, like most people would. A few tips here is just I would recommend switching the lens by lowering your camera body, like having it point straight down. Don't have it up in the air or anywhere else pointing in any direction. And try to be very careful about doing this on windy days. Like today has been pretty windy so far. The problem is wind, you know, that'll blow up any kind of dust or any tree pollen, dandelions, any kind of debris could get trapped in between the camera body and the lens, which would be very problematic. And sometimes it could get so severe you have to send it into your camera store technician or your manufacturer and have them repair it and clean it out for you professionally. So yeah, always switch it out if you really have to switch it out. I know I always have to switch out lenses a lot, and just because of all the different focal lengths, and like I said, just keep changing lenses to a minimum. Don't try and do it too much outdoors. If at all possible, I would try and switch them in an enclosed space like a car, you know, as much as you can. But if you really need to switch it out when in the field, you know, I just recommend following these tips. Did I fail to mention before? Wildlife photography is really difficult, especially bird photography. When you get into any of the smaller sparrows or warblers, or most songbirds, honestly, it's just they all follow their own schedule, and so you know, it's hard to just. You can predict their movements if you learn them, but like, it's just they do what they want, you know, and you're in their territory, and the variables are all over the place. And speaking of variables, I just checked the weather. It's supposed to start storming possibly, but rain's coming in about half an hour maybe. So I'm going back to the car. I'm going to get my rain gear, which I luckily brought, and I'm going to see if I can wait this out. But it's getting really dramatic skies, you know, with all the clouds. But I'm going to see what happens here. Hopefully something good comes of it. Maybe a nice sunset. That'd be nice. It's about 2 hours from now. Or I could get drenched and not find any photos. See what happens here. So far there's been a little bit of pitter-patter of rain, but it's nothing that's going to stop me. It's not all dramatic, right? I think the find of the day so far has been I saw one Baltimore Oriole. which is really cool. That's a neotropical migrant that comes back during spring and summer, and then goes all the way as far as down as South America. And so I got a few shots of him. I'll show you those. But actually, the main thing I'm looking at right now is right behind me on this tiny little deciduous tree is a blue-gray gnatcatcher nest, which is pretty cool. So they come back in late March. They migrate up north to here, and then usually about early spring like this right now, they start nesting. And they nest in mainly old growth kind of deciduous woods like this, but they'll even go in like well-treed parks and kind of neighborhoods like that. So it's pretty cool. It's the first time I've seen a nest from their kind, and I saw there's 1, 2, and then I saw it hop up on this little like blob on the branch right here. It's just like a few feet behind me, and I was like, oh, that's a nest. So I'm like really close to right here. I don't think I'm really disturbing them because it looks like they keep going back and forth trying to deliver nesting material, I think. I don't think there's any eggs as far as I can tell. But yeah, I do recognize there's 2 of them. They're kind of building this nest together, which is pretty cool. I'm gonna show you those shots here as well. In order to get sufficient lighting on this blue-gray gnatcatcher nest, I'm pretty much gonna have to use the external flash. It's just you know, woodlands are hard. They have tricky lighting situations for sure. So I'm using my external flash, and it's a Canon Speedlight 430 EX3 RT, as you can see. And I have a diffusion filter on just so that way it doesn't overwhelm my subject, the birds. It's that nest right there, that little dot in the middle. But we're gonna see what happens. So I moved on for that gnatcatcher nest just because they weren't really coming back. I don't know why. I waited almost half an hour, nothing came up. Even then I didn't have my tripod. So I put it back in the car when I got my rain gear, and just to reduce the weight and bulk of the load I'm carrying. But now I'm kind of like half regretting it because I would have set it up right there, just had the camera pointed right at the nest there. So it's a little bit of a bummer. This place is fairly small, so I might come back to it. I still got about an hour and a half of daylight. Well, cloudiness. We'll see. Hopefully the rain holds off. If not, that's okay. We'll make do. Final. Well, I was kind of hoping one of these videos would end up being a rainy day, but I guess I ate my words. So I was all the way at the far end of Glen Thompson Reserve here, and right by the bike path or whatever, and then I saw like 5 strikes of lightning just, boom, in a line in a row. Not too far off from me, and then thunder wasn't too long after that, so it's getting close. And I've been out trying to, there's about 3 years ago I think, I was out photographing. This is before I had my license, but I had my bike, and it was like a spring or summer day like this, and I got a little too cocky, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna see if I can photograph this lightning strike from a distance, even though I didn't even know what long exposure really was that well at the time. So, and then of course it like struck far away as I was, I thought it was a safe distance, right? But storms travel pretty fast, and the lightning struck like right above me, just kind of like across the clouds, and that's when I freaked out and biked home. But anyways, enough about flashback stories. Yeah, I am like drenched. My gear got really wet. My cameras, I actually like slipped and fell trying to power walk, because I'm wearing my wading boots, which don't have much traction compared to like my regular hiking boots. And it's really, really muddy here at Glen Thompson, and now with this rain it's gonna be even more wet. So there's less than an hour of daylight. The weather app says there's gonna be a break in the rain, 15 minutes. I'll hold my breath, but I don't know, with all the lightning too, I don't want to risk it. I mean, I am under a lot of trees, so it's not like I'm just out in the open somewhere holding up a giant tripod with, you know, which is basically a giant metal rod. Anyways, enough jokes, but I don't know, I'm really tired and hungry, and I need to go to the bathroom, and I don't know if I want to wait another hour or another 15 minutes to see if there's a break in the rain, because yeah, it's really heavy now, as you can tell. So yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I was kind of hoping for a rainy day. It'd make for an interesting dynamic in the on location videos, but yeah, this is this is bad enough. You know, I might call it quits, cut the video short. I did get a few decent shots of the Gnatcatcher nests in the Baltimore Oriole, but jeez. Wow. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna wait a little bit because usually heavy rains don't last long. Knock on wood, but I'm gonna see if this dies off soon. All right. Yeah, we'll see. Alright, I've been waiting and waiting, and it's not so much the rain, it's just the lightning. I've seen it a few times overhead, so it's not really worth anything. I don't know. You know how it goes. It's actually a few minutes till sunset, so I think I'm just gonna call it quits. Even if I did find any good birds, probably all hiding in shelter or something right now with all this heavy rain. So this is unfortunately this is gonna be the end, but. Also just wanted to recommend, if you prefer to receive email, you can sign up for my newsletter. You can find the link down below in the description or on my website. And you actually get a free ebook, Nature Photography as Art, 10 Tips to Unlock Your Creative Potential. And it's just a little bit of general advice kind of ebook. It's not too long, but gives you enough information to get you started on nature photography if you're interested. And so I'm just going to leave it at that, guys. Until next time, this has been Glen Thompson Reserve, and make sure to get on out here and get out wherever you can. Thanks, guys. Stupid rain. Have a good day, guys.